Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christopher Reed, and I'll be a moderator for this evening. Now, today we have Mr. Tari from Digicel, the marketing manager, and we'll be having an interview with him to see how he has reached his position. And today we just ask Mr. Tari to say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
We have in the background Mr. Jehu Graham and Curtis Zane, two past participants of Dream Jamaica, and we're just here to just listen to what Mr. Tari has to say to us, and let's ask him to give a little background information about himself.
Alright, so I'm Tari Lovell. I currently am the sponsorship manager at Digicel. My portfolio is entertainment, youth, and community. So pretty much what I do is anywhere where you see Digicel branding, like feather banners, or you see an activation happening, which means there's some form of engagement with the consumer at an event, and pretty much I'm involved with the planning, the executing, and the overall interaction with the consumers. So I started out, went to Campion, I graduated Campion in about 2003, fifth form, and then I went on to do sixth form there also and graduated 2005. Then I went abroad to study entertainment business, and I was abroad in Orlando for 2 years. Then I worked freelance as an engineer and a producer in Miami, South Florida. That was enjoyable for a while, so I did different type of music. I also worked as a manager for a training company. And then I moved back to Jamaica to do my master's in marketing, and that was 2011. So it took me, I did that full time, took me 16 months to do that. Then I took a year off actually and did entertainment again for a year. So I actually did a song with Conscience, I did a song with Denique. And then after that year, I decided to go corporate. So since then, I've been working at Digicel. I started as an intern, then an exec, and now I'm actually a manager. So yeah, it's been a nice journey.
Okay, so we have, in this interview, we have three sections. We have inspire, we have inform, and we have empower. And based off of these regions, we have three questions involved. And the first region will be inspire. So, Mr. Terry, we'd like to ask, who are you?
All right, so they always say that a man defines himself by what he does, how much he makes, and the type of person they are. So, who am I? I'm Tari Lovell. I am a sponsorship manager. I'm not going to tell you how much I make, but what I believe really fundamentally defines you is your character, how you treat people, interpersonal relationships, how you interact with people, and how you can actually inspire and empower people. So the more of an impact you're able to have on people's lives, that's what defines who you are. So I don't even think that you can define yourself. I believe that it's the people around you and the people who you touch that will truly be able to define the character and type of person that you are.
What roadblocks have you encountered?
I've encountered a lot of roadblocks. You know, even with doing music, even with elevating in such a short period. I've only been at Digicel for 2 years, and to elevate at the pace that I have, there's been a lot of roadblocks in terms of people maybe believing that I've elevated too fast, people believing that I don't necessarily deserve to be a manager because there have been people there that have been execs a lot longer. But you just have to stay strong and focused on what it is that you want to achieve and what it is that you want to do. And with any roadblock that you're faced with, that's the most important thing. You understand where your destination is, you understand where you're headed. So you need to always focus on that end point, focus on the destination, focus on where you're going, and don't worry about the roadblocks because there's always going to be another path that will lead you to exactly where you want to go.
Okay, so what's your superpower?
My superpower is being me. The most unique thing that I offer is truly being Tari, and there's no other Tari Lovell out there, no matter what, whether they're born on the same day as me, whether they're tall, whether they work out, whether they're a manager, it doesn't matter. The most unique thing that is owned by you, your superpower is being you, and that's what you have to harness. So being you, you may have different superpowers. You may be extremely smart, you may be extremely talented in sports, you may be extremely gifted in music, you may be very tall and maybe that benefits you, but what truly stands out and makes you unique and allows you to truly have a superpower is just being you.
Wow. So we can see that Mr. Tari is a very initiative person. So we leave Inspire and go to Inform. What do you do?
So as I said before, I'm a sponsorship executive, and I'm also an entrepreneur. So what I do at Digicel is, let's look at an event like Sumfest. So Sumfest falls under my portfolio, which is entertainment, or even Bob Marley. So as those two events will be coming up upon us, what we have to do is we have to figure out what have we done before. So what did we do at Sumfest last year? What did we do at Bob Marley this year? And you sit down at the drawing board and you bring the team together. And the way the marketing team is broke up at Digicel is broken into 5 different parts. So you have the marketing communications part, which is everything that you see. That's all the artwork that you see, all the ads that you see, all the radio ads that you hear. Then you have sponsorship, which is basically the face of the company. All the people that you see in the paper most of the time at an event is a sponsorship executive or sponsorship manager. The things that you see on the ground in terms of the branding, in terms of the having P2P agents or persons who are selling credit, all of that is organized by sponsorship. Then you have PR, that's the mouthpiece of the company. So every article that you read, every press release that you see, every single word that you see that is written by Digicel usually has to go through the PR company to ensure that the right message is being delivered and the right message is being communicated with the consumer. And then you have media, which would encompass social media, as well as the placements of the ads and the radio ads that you see and you hear. So what I do is I do sponsorship. So we look at what it is that we're going to do in terms of from a Bob Marley perspective. You know, what success you've had, how are you going to communicate with your consumer, the new plans, you develop a campaign around it, you develop a strategy, you have a vision, and you execute that plan. Then you sit down with the team and you brainstorm and you say, okay, what did we do last year? What can we do this year? How can we make it different? And there are 4 things that we always try to achieve when doing a activation. That would be 1, build on the successes that you've had before. Be innovative, so do something that's creative. Think outside the box, and don't be afraid to fail, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Take risks. You know, in being creative, sometimes you just have to take a risk. You have to be bold. Sometimes you just have to be in people's faces. And as a marketer, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to piss off accountants. You're supposed to spend money. You're supposed to start conversations. And the only way you can successfully do that is really taking risks. And the 4th one is about being, build on your successes, be innovative, take risks, and always challenge the status quo. So if your consumer wants something, or your competitor is doing something, or they've been doing something the same way for the last 5 years or the last 10 years, the onus is on you as a marketer to do something different, to challenge the status quo. So if they're doing everything red, change it and go purple. Change it and go blue. Change the name of the brand. So that's the most important thing, and that's what I do. I take risks, I challenge the status quo. I'm always trying to build on the success that we've already had, and I'm constantly trying to be innovative and creative.
What's the potential in this field?
The potential in this field is limitless. As a marketer, you have the opportunity to build small companies with great ideas. You have the opportunity to learn from big companies, and that's where I am now. You know, working at Digicel, one of the biggest corporate companies in Jamaica, and learning and understanding what it means to truly be a marketer, what it means to cut through the noise of. I mean, you have the competitor, you have your drink brand, so you have your Appleton, you have your Ray and Nephew, you have your Cinco, your Coke, your Pepsi, you have your other telecommunication brands. Well, up until earlier this year, you had a telecommunication brand and you had a cable brand, and those are still seen as your competitors. So it's important to be able to cut through that noise, because it's all still share of pocket. So it doesn't matter if it's a Pepsi, because that person that's going to spend $100 on buying a Pepsi bubbler, that's the same $100 that they're going to try to spend on buying $100 credit. So as a marketer, it's important for you to make sure that your message is cutting through all of that. It's cutting through the Wisynco ads. It's cutting through the Pepsi ads. It's cutting through your competitors' ads. And so that's a key learning from working at a big corporate company. And then the potential that you have is, at the moment, as an entrepreneur, I can step to another company and take my learnings and say, okay, you have this product, and I believe that you can do X, Y, and Z. from the experience that I've taken from working with a big corporate brand, you can become a marketing director for one of these big corporate companies like a Diageo, like a Rare Nephew, like a Digicel. And those people are making significant money. You know, you have the opportunity to also go into first world companies and work for AT&T, like myself, as being in the telecommunications brand, or someone who's also in marketing that works at Rare Nephew. They can go up and they can work for Heineken, and they understand that they grow. So the potential is truly limitless, and you're only limited by yourself. Right? That's the thing that I really want everybody to leave with. Like you said, the superpower is being you. Your limits and your potential is all about you. It's truly what you can do.
So why did you choose this field particularly?
I didn't choose this field. This field chose me. I've always been interested in marketing. You know, I have a creative mind. I love music. I love trying to think outside the box. I love getting in the consumer's face. I love taking risks. I like upsetting people, or you know, the goal as a marketer, like I said, unfortunately, and it's funny, you know, the accounts and marketing in any corporate company, they never get along, because accounts objective is to save money and focus on the bottom line and the profit, the P&L of the company. And as a marketer, your goal is to be in the consumer's face, to be as radical as possible. And most of the time that involves spending as much money as possible. So you understand that part of your objective is to just piss off the finance company, because you have to spend that money, you have to be in their face. So I ended up doing marketing because I think that marketing is a way that you get to touch the people. You don't have to sit at your desk 24/7. You know, you work late nights, you work early mornings, you constantly have to be creative. So I just think that it's constantly challenging me. And as a marketer, you're forced to constantly find solutions. The way my boss is, he doesn't care about a problem. If I tell him there's a problem with something, he doesn't care. He's not gonna sit down and you know, rub my shoulders and say, oh, you know, that's such a sad. No, the solution. Constantly be solution oriented. And that's also something that is a great takeaway from this, is that no matter what you're faced with in terms of obstacles, in terms of roadblocks, in terms of how big and better you could be. The last question was what's the potential? It's about being solution oriented. The potential is all about what you make it and your uniqueness. So I truly love this job and what I do, because it allows me to constantly be unique. It allows me to constantly be creative. It allows me to challenge the flow, take risks. And, you know, it's always challenges me, always.
So we've come on to our final segment, which is Empower. And we just like to ask, how did you get here?
It's actually probably funny how I ended up getting here. I was, like I said, I was doing music, and I wanted, there's a little bit more money. So someone actually said to me, oh, they're doing social media interns at Digicel. You know, if you want, you can go there, and it's for 2 months. You can make a quick money, and you know, just go and tweet, basically, and tweet, go and post things on Digicel. I went there. I did that for a couple months, you know, but being who I was and being what I wanted to do, I didn't just go in and tweet alone. You know, I tried to take risks, so the things I tweeted were a little bit more outrageous than the other bloggers, and you know, grasp the attention of the consumers more. Those were the things that were getting retweeted more, and as such, I was able to be seen by the bosses or those that were in charge. And then I also wasn't afraid to go to the bosses. I went directly to the director myself and gave him my resume and introduced myself. And in that, I got an interview with him. And through that interview, that process just has led to me being able to be where I am now. So it was actually just by coincidence. I was just in a car with someone who got a call at the right place at the right time. But what it really boiled down to was work ethic, being unique, and truly believing in yourself. And that's how I was able to reach where I've reached now.
Well, what resources do I need?
I saw that part of the presentation, and it says, do you need education? Do you need a certain degree? I do believe in all those things. I do believe, as it stands, I currently have a master's in marketing, and I think that going to school and bettering your education, it allows you to be sharper. It allows you to appreciate things more. It makes your mind quicker. It helps you to be more solution oriented. It allows you to figure out problems a lot quicker. So I do believe that it's fundamental to have a strong education background, because it allows you to, it makes you better. But at the same time, as I've said in the other two parts of leading up in this interview, is that it also truly does boil down to you, because some of the greatest people didn't graduate university. Some of the greatest people didn't even make it out of high school. But what they had was unwavering determination to succeed. And if you have unwavering determination to succeed, then you can reach far. And that's from all their three pillars to this interview. And in all three pillars, I'm trying to make sure that you take away those things that are most important. Number one, be unique. And that is your superpower. Your superpower is being you. Two, have unwavering belief in yourself. You know what you want. So you have a vision, you make a plan, you develop a strategy, and you execute. If you do that, you can't fail. And if you fail, you get up, you make a vision, you make a plan, you have a strategy, and you execute. If you fail again, start and repeat again, because I can guarantee you that once you do that, you're guaranteed to succeed. You're guaranteed to have success, and you're guaranteed to reach the place that you want to be. So that's what you need. You need unwavering belief in yourself. Having school is always great. Having an education is always great, and having a family and a strong support system around you and a team is always very important. And these pillars are important to build upon. But the fundamental thing is to truly be unique and believe in yourself.
Okay, and our final question is, how can I become like you?
Don't be like me. Don't be like me. That's the be better than me. So they always say don't reinvent the wheel, or if it's not broken, don't fix it. See what I've done, emulate it to some degree, but do it better. So whatever takeaways you can take away from what I've spoken to you about taking risks. And this is a disclaimer. When I say take risks, don't go out and do wild things. No, that's not what I'm saying. When I say take risks, just always be bold. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to challenge what you don't believe in. Don't be afraid to have wild and creative ideas. So don't try to be like me. Be better than me. Be smarter than me. Make more money than me. And the only way to do that is to truly know what it is that you want and go after it. Whether it's to be in finance, whether it's to be in marketing, whether it's to be a football player, or a basketball player, a singer, an actor, it doesn't really matter. Once you know what you want, you have unwavering belief in what it is that you can do, and you have a vision, develop a strategy, make a plan, and execute. You can't fail.
Okay, you have just heard from Mr. Tari Lovell. Are there any questions from the viewers?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Any questions from the audience?
Chris?
You have a question?
No. Rena, come on. No. Rena, be quiet.
I'm really fascinated in the superpower as well. Right. So, yes. And you spoke strongly about.
Speak up, please.
Yes. Yes. I was saying that I'm really interested in the superpower, sir, and how you have spoken about going against the status quo. Because a lot of times we believe that we should stay on the same path, we should follow the same 1, 2, 3 ABC type of thinking, and we just find ways to add a name to the same thing and to fit in as well as and in a changing world, in a fast pacing, that kind of thinking doesn't go anywhere anymore. You know, you need to add value to whatever you know is brought forward to the table.
Mhm.
And so you said that that is something that you do and that you challenge yourself to do often. But do you have any particular experience that has motivated you to continue doing that? Because you know yeah, do you have any particular experience that pushed you because you don't feel a lot of times you don't want to challenge your status quo, you don't want to challenge this particular thinking because we fear rejection, we fear failure, and you know, but you know, as you said before, we have to use that type of thinking if we want to exceed and add value to anything that we do. So, any particular experience that pushed you to?
Yeah, I can give you a couple examples of things that I've done at work that were bold and they were risky. I'll give you a couple examples. So one, there was the Jamaica Happy video. I don't know if you guys saw that video. There was a video that was so Pharrell had a happy video, and there was a worldwide trend where different countries from Spain to Germany, they were doing their own personal happy videos. So what we did, we decided to develop a Jamaica happy video, but we didn't put any branding in it. We just shot the video, and within 2 weeks, the video had over 1 million views. It got retweeted. It was retweeted by Pharrell. It was retweeted by a whole bunch of worldwide PR companies and media companies. But the most important thing is actually Lime retweeted it. And when they retweeted it, we then announced that we were actually the people that did the video. So we knew that we wouldn't get any traction in the beginning with a bunch of digital branding all over the video. People probably would have just thought it was just another digital video. But the fact that we took a risk to say, you know what, let's put out a video where there's no branding. We won't even own it. No one will know that it belongs to us. But let's see what happens. And what happened was it blew up. And what we did was we did research. We looked at what was happening in the world and what was a global trend and what was trending at the time. And it was a risk that worked. I don't know if you guys know about, I don't know how many of you there know Michael O'Hara. There was a big situation with him where he announced himself as a brand ambassador. That was risky on his part. Some people, what it did was it started a conversation, and it was dynamic polarity. Some people believed it was a brilliant marketing strategy. Some people believed it was completely unethical. Now, I'm not going to speak to that too much, but that is another example of taking a risk, and it could have easily backfired. I mean, to some degree, it backfired a lot, but it was also very successful. So once again, you have the dynamic polarities of taking a risk that starts a conversation and was in media for over 2 weeks, and it may not have driven sales or it may not have gotten more consumers, but what it did was it had everybody talking about the brand. Other things that we took risks with, the ultimate mission. So if you look at last year's Christmas promotion, where we put 4 people in a car, a TV reality series where they were given challenges and had to get points, and they had to stay in a car for 48 hours. Some people believed that it was, a great marketing strategy. I literally made Jamaica stop for 48 hours, and people were tuned in on live on social media. They were tuned in on the live stream. They were watching the show on TV. And that was about tasting. That was about challenging the status quo. That was about, okay, your competitor is giving away a car, but that's boring how they're giving away. They're giving away a car in a very boring manner. How can we give away a car in a more exciting manner that the entire Jamaica knows that this person won a car courtesy of Digital? And that's how you challenge, that's how you take risks, and those are some examples of taking risks that have proved to be successful.
Well, one question I have. What advice would you give to a young entrepreneur, young marketer coming up into the business, seeing that the competition rate is very high?
What advice would I give a young marketer in how old is this marketer?
Well, he says he's just finished. It's coming up. And
okay. You have the next 10 years to put in 10,000 hours worth of work focusing on your craft. And if you're just finishing CFC, that means you're about 18. So that means when you're 28, you should be so good at what you do that taking risks, it doesn't even seem like taking risks because it's part of your everyday lifestyle. Um, I would advise you to read and do your research. So constantly, and I think that that's where a lot of my generation and the generation below us, they are so caught up with technology and their phones and Instagram and social media, which and keeping up with the Kardashians and this all brain numbing nonsense, that you need to remember that reading, no matter what it is that you're reading, whether it's articles online, whether it's books, whether it's the newspaper, these things make your mind sharper and they make you better. I encourage all of you to do research and to ensure that you read. Look at everything that's happening in the world. So look at global trends. Look at what's happening next. You know, the person who invented Instagram was someone who was looking at the next global trend. They understood that, okay, Facebook is slowly declining in the amount of usage and how often people check their messages or check their timeline. But what people are super interested in is pictures. That person looked at what was happening around the world. Um, they saw the entry into the market, and they developed something that allowed them to capitalize on a global trend, which is people just being able to look at pictures. So continue to do research and read. Always look at global trends. Take risks. You're extremely young. You're just coming out of 60, you're 18. There are lots of things that you can do. Try to open different companies. Develop a structure and a team around you that will allow you to push boundaries and be innovative. You can't do this alone. So that's something crucial I would also teach you, is that a lot of these things you can't do alone. The great ideas that we develop at Digicel, it's never one man. It's never one person that sat in an office and said, let's do this. It was always a creative team that sat down, thought about it, looked at the pros, looked at the cons, did research, looked at what was happening around the world, decided to do something that was creative, developed a plan, had a vision, and executed. And if I can teach you anything, that those are really the four fundamental things I want to teach you. So always have a strategy, continuously read and make yourself better. And in reading and doing research, that allows you to think about what's happening in the world. A lot of what I have to do, I have to look at what AT&T are doing, what are Verizon doing, what are these worldwide companies, these first world companies, what are they doing? What are they doing that's differentiated themselves from 4 other major competitors? I mean, I only have 1 competitor in the market that I'm challenging. The rest of them have 4 other competitors. If you look at T-Mobile right now, the big thing that T-Mobile is going through is that they have a CEO, John Legere, who is radical, and it's never really been seen where a CEO comes out and he's tweeting nonsense about his competitors. He's calling out Sprint, he's calling out AT&T, he's calling them dumb and dumber. He's doing interviews and just being bold and radical. So, and it's not necessarily that you should go and do that now, but look at something like that. Like, why is that garnering so much success? Maybe Digicel should go and get a radical CEO and see what happens in Jamaica. Would it work where he suddenly would feel, the people would feel more connected with the brand because they have this radical Jamaican CEO who's just saying outrageous things? Who knows? But at least you know that that opportunity is there, and you know that that's something that's successfully occurring in the world.
The typical high school or the subject selection, what subjects would you recommend for CV and K?
I cannot tell you that. If you want to be a doctor, you need to do sciences. If you want to be an architect, you need to do IT and TD. If you so it all really just depends. It's about the vision that you want. I personally studied principles of business, principles of accounts. I did bio, I did chem, I did math. That was a long time ago. I did all the typical subjects. But I really just think it's about you, what you want to do.
So my final question to you is, what drives you to go out and do what you do every day? What gives you that extra power to just go out and be you?
Striving to be superhuman. In everything that I do, I strive to be superhuman. I strive to be faster, stronger, and smarter every single day. And that involves reading, that involves taking care of the vessel that God has provided me with in terms of my body, and ensuring that I eat right, ensuring that I do at least 30 minutes to an hour of some physical activity that will benefit my body, and ensuring that when I step into the office, I'm the best thing in there, and that they understand that I am more of an asset than a liability, and that without me, with me, it's a lot better. And I think those are the things that motivate me. I strive to be a superhuman, and I encourage everybody in the world to do the same. Strive to be stronger, faster, smarter every single day. So every day I wake up and I pray to God to be better than the man I was the day before.
I'd just like to say that I'm strongly motivated by what you have said. Me being a lover of music and the business as well, as it relates to marketing and new stuff, I'm really interested in that field. And I'd like to just say that you serve as motivation for me to just go after my dreams and just be bold, as you said. So I'd like to thank you.
No problem. I appreciate. If from this only you're the only person that actually was motivated, that means a lot to me. Because like I said, they say that major success is measured upon small wins. You know, it's not the big things. It's just the small things that you're able to do. And as those build together, that's what really builds the foundation of major success.
Who knows, maybe one day I'll be a brand ambassador, digital, singing, I'd sing some for you guys.
There you go, exactly.
Mr. Tari, do you have any questions for us as it relates to this interview?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do them on the air though. I think that what I would say is I think that what you have here, I mean, I don't know how many people are viewing, but I think what you have here is truly remarkable. And I think that this is something that I'm not sure if, I don't even think I got the young lady's name. Shaniel. I'm not even sure if Shaniel strategically chose either myself or Benji as marketers for a big telecommunications brand. But choosing me for this was brilliant, because I look at proposals every day. I read proposals every day about people having great ideas and things that they want. And, you know, even in a presentation that my director was doing on Wednesday, he was saying that every day we get presentations and we get proposals and we see videos and we see PowerPoints. But what really stands out is doing something different. And this is different. So if this was your way of figuring out how to get great sponsorship for a great brand, I think that this was brilliant. And I have a question to say, why haven't I heard about this before? Or that's mainly what I want to know. I'm looking around and I also have a short attention span, probably part of being a marketer, being creative. But I mean, I just think that this is brilliant. I think that the essence of this and the potential of this is brilliant.
Well, I'd like to say on behalf of Dream Jamaica and the hundreds of students that we serve, Tari, thank you so much. Thanks for observing that. We've been working on this since 2008, and it's no small feat. And we started because in 2008, after living in the U.S. for a number of years, I moved back to Jamaica, and I visited my old high school, which was St. Jago, and I saw the kids looking quite despondent, and I decided to start a mentoring program. And I was shocked at just the lack of support in Jamaica. And so when I moved back to Seattle, you know, I started Dream Jamaica, and we've been offering programs ever since. Christopher, I'm not sure what happened. All right, looks like we lost them.
Are you done?
Okay, okay,
you guys are back. Christopher? Okay, something happened there for a while. Anyway, we would love to talk more about it. Like you said, Tari, taking risks and being different. That's what Dream Jamaica is about. You know, we've spent these years working with kids, focusing on getting them to succeed. Right around you are three of our students, Christopher, Curtis, and Jehu. And Renice there is on the phone as well, or on the call. But, you know, we focus, hi Renice, we focus on, you know, just our students and getting their ideas. Christopher was actually the one who suggested Digicel. And so, yeah, we like to connect with people and build relationships before asking for money. But, of course, we welcome your money anytime. But we do it very differently. We believe in showing you the value that we're adding, building relationships, and then, you know, we'll figure out the best way for investments. But we don't just go begging for money. We work together and build relationships. That's very important to us, and that's the reason we've succeeded for 8 years.
That's great.
Well, we here have really learned a lot from Mr. Tari, and we just like to thank him for just coming and even sharing his words of wisdom. Because there's even one thing that he has said that can truly touch somebody and can even help somebody to be a better person, be a better man, be bold, and most importantly, read and also be innovative. So we just like to thank Mr. Tari.
And be you. Be you. And I say that importantly because even in high school, and I guess that's who this demographic is. In high school, it's so hard to differentiate yourself. You know, there are cliques and there's popularity and there's, you know, there's a lot of pressure on you for like sexy, like that type of pressure is so immense. But the most important thing is to carve a lane for yourself to really differentiate yourself from everybody else. I mean, do be cool, like don't be lame. I'll tell you that, but be you. Be you.
Well, we'd just like to thank Mr. Tari for coming out here today. We know that he's a busy man, but he took out his time to really come and share with us what he has learned, and we are very appreciative for what he has done, and we'd just like to say thank you, Mr. Tari.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, to the viewers, we'll see you next time when we have the Dream Jamaica webinar. Thank you.